So I thought it was about time I jumped into the waters of all of these proposals for direct payments to individuals. They have ranged from $1,000 a month to $2,000 a month. I thought we would jump into that discussion, but from a real estate investing, from a landlord's perspective, because I want to make sure we position this topic around what this channel is, which is real estate investing. So a couple of things. If you've been watching this channel for any length of time, you should know a couple of things are true. First, I think what they did with unemployment, in that they kicked in an extra $600 a week, was outstanding. This was an event out of left field. It took a lot of our service sector and took it out. So that extra $600 a week is awesome. I do think it's a shame that it is taking states like Florida an inordinate amount of time to get those funds. That is borderline criminal. Some of the stuff that I've read about Florida and frankly other states as well. The fact that you can't get on, it takes you forever to file. These people are in need of our help and our support. So the fact that they can't apply, the systems are arcane. We just need to do better. And Florida specifically needs to do better. But that said, I'm a big fan of that extra bonus. I was also a fan of the $1,200 kind of one-shot stimulus, push to help folks. But I want to talk more about this proposal that seems to be gaining steam. They're kind of talking it as the number 4th bill. They're talking about $2,000 for every adult, $500 for every kid up to 3 kids. They've also put a hook on it that says you're going to get this until unemployment is back to pre-pandemic levels. Man, that was 3.5%. We may not get back there for decades. So that's a long time. What I also need to realize is there's a downside to all this money. People need help, and we need to help them. There's no question. But let's at least have an understanding that even if unemployment was 20 or heaven's sake 25% today, that still means that somewhere between 75 and 80% of folks are still working. Should they get the 2,000? Should they get that on top of their salary? I don't know. I think the idea of just sending out $2,000 to every adult and child without production, it has a dark side. Flooding the system with extra cash to folks that, I don't want to say don't need it, because everybody would like $2,000. Like, shoot, I'll take $2,000. Why not, right? But that's going to be very inflationary, right? If you think rent's unaffordable today, rents would go up in an environment like that. No more units online. People got more money. It'd be very inflationary. What you don't realize is $2,000 per adult, $500 per kid. You're talking like $5,000 if you're a family of 4. That's $60,000 a year. They're talking about making this tax-free. The average income in the US is $60,000. So if you're going to give somebody $60,000 tax-free, which is just 5,000 times 12, that's like 90,000 pre-tax. That is wildly inflationary. What people don't understand is if you flood the system with these, 180 million adults in the US, 200 million, whatever it is, it's going to get even more unaffordable. Rents in states like Ohio and Nashville and Michigan, like the Heart Belt, rents are going to go up, folks. Right? If you're living in a city, let's just pick on Fresno. It's a market I know, and Fresno's in California, but please insert your Midwest city here. You can probably use the money to do whatever you want, buy real estate as well. But let's just play this out, right? You're a family of 4 in Fresno. The average income in Fresno is $56,000. So let's call it 50 grand just to make this math easy. You're now telling that family of four that we're going to give you 60,000 bucks. You know, it's 5 grand a month until this thing is back to pre unemployment levels, which is going to be tough. You're going to tell them to stay home. You're going to also allow them, if they want to keep working, they're going to move. They're going to rent somewhere else, right? Rent like a 1-bedroom, 1-bath apartment in Fresno you can get for like 750 bucks. Right? If it's a 2-bedroom, call it 950 maybe, 900, 950. People are going to move. Rent's going to go up. That's what's frustrating. I fully support taking care of the people that are hurting today. We just need to focus on helping the folks that are hurting. Something that I like that the UK did, I don't know if you've heard about this one. The UK changed how they're doing unemployment. And I think we should look at this. Why don't we give everyone who's unemployed 75% of what they used to make? Shoot, make it 90%. I don't care. Why don't we do that? That way we are only helping the unemployed. The people that are unemployed are getting help. And then when they go back to work, their income goes up. Right now, we are potentially giving them so much money that they won't go back to work. So again, I think we should take care of the unemployed. I think we should do it in a smarter way. Maybe what we do is we modify what the UK has done and said, hey, instead of the $600 bonus plus the $300 or $400 that the state gives, we're going to pay you 75% up to an income of 100 grand. I just pick a number. I think that would be more direct. It would help the people that are in trouble, and it wouldn't pile on excess cash, the people that are working. That would just make the problem worse. If everybody got money, we are still going to be hurting the people that need it most. The people that are in trouble, that don't have the extra income, they would still be below everyone else. There's just a dark side to this. So I think we should get more focused. I think we should definitely focus on helping the unemployed. But even if we went to 30% unemployment in this terrible health event, that's still 70% of the folks are working. So again, I think it's about helping the unemployed. I think it's about getting them back to work as soon as possible. It's about making going back to work a good thing. I am not a huge fan of just everybody getting $2,000 a month until this thing's over, right? And especially if over means unemployment's 3.5%. Do you really think we'll ever get back to 3.5% unemployment? That could take 50 years. What are we going to do then? It's just wildly inflationary. There would be entire cities where that inflation would just blow up the housing market. You know, so it's just a problem, right? There's some Midwest towns that if you gave a family of four 5 grand, housing prices would go up. Think about that. Rents would skyrocket. If you're renting a place in in the center of the U.S. for $400 a month and you suddenly got 5 grand, you'd move. There's a downside to all this money. Not to mention that this money has to be paid back eventually. It's going to be paid back with more taxes. It's going to be paid back with inflation. Our kids are being put on the hook for this future debt. This is horrible. But let's focus future dollars that we have to pay where it is needed most. And I believe it is needed most with the unemployed. Hotel workers, restaurants, retail, all the folks that are at that lower level. And oh, by the way, it is working up. It's a problem that we need to realize it's out there. And to think that there's no downside and, hey, free money, free money, free money, man, that's not how it works. There's no intrinsic value. There's no goods produced, right? Free money when there's no goods or medium, it hurts the economist's head. So realize that free money sounds good, but when everybody gets it, the ramifications are horrible. You won't like the ramifications. You'll cash the 2K check, but 6 months from now, when everything's more expensive, you're not going to be happy. That's just the reality of things. So I just had to put this together. A lot of people have reached out, and I guess we'll see what happens. My only word of advice is let's help the unemployed. Some of the stories I'm reading are terrible. The states that are doing a horrible job with their unemployment systems, shame on you. Florida being the biggest one. We need to get through this together. Let's focus on the people that need help. All right, everybody. Have a wonderful day. Take care of yourself. Bye.